What would you do if someone knocked on your door and told you to leave everything behind? Your home, your memories, the land where your ancestors are buried. Gone. Would you walk away? Would you accept it? This isn't a hypothetical question. It's the reality for millions of people in Gaza, a place where children grow up knowing nothing but war, loss, and resilience. Among them is a young girl named Mariam Hannon. In the midst of rubble and ruins, she has found her voice, a voice that demands answers, a voice that challenges the conscience of the world. This is her story. But it's also the story of Gaza, a land that refuses to be silenced, a people who refuse to be broken. Gaza. The name alone evokes images of conflict, destruction, and despair. But behind the headlines and the heartbreak lies a deeper truth. Gaza is a land of resilience, faith, and unyielding hope. For decades, the people of Gaza have endured unimaginable hardships. They've faced wars, blockades, and displacement. They've lost homes, loved ones, and livelihoods. Yet through it all, they've held on to their identity, their faith, and their determination to rebuild. In the midst of this chaos, children like Mariam Hannon are growing up. They've never known peace, but they've inherited a legacy of strength. They've learned to find hope in the darkest of places, to speak when the world refuses to listen. Mariam's story is a testament to that spirit. It's a story that begins in the ruins of her homeland but reaches far beyond, challenging us to confront uncomfortable truths about justice, humanity, and our shared responsibility. The voice from the rubble. Mariam Hannon is just a child, but her words carry the weight of generations. Standing amidst the rubble of her home, she doesn't cry for help or beg for mercy. Instead, she asks a question, one that demands an answer. What if it were you? She asks. What if someone told you to leave your home, your land, your memories? Would you walk away? Her question isn't directed at any one person. It's a challenge to the world, a mirror held up to our collective conscience. It's a reminder that the pain of Gaza isn't just a distant tragedy. It's a call to action for anyone who values justice and humanity. A message to the powerful. Mariam's message reaches beyond the borders of Gaza. She speaks directly to those in power, to leaders like former President Donald Trump, who have played a role in shaping the fate of her people. Why are you forcing me to leave my home? She asks. Why are you making me accept this? Her words are simple, but they cut deep. They expose the hypocrisy of a world that preaches freedom and justice while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the innocent. They remind us that those who make decisions from the comfort of their palaces and offices have never felt the pain of losing everything. The unbreakable spirit of Gaza. Mariam's courage is not an exception in Gaza, it's the rule. The people of Gaza have faced unimaginable hardships, but they've refused to be broken. They've rebuilt their homes, their lives, and their communities time and time again. Their resilience is rooted in faith. They believe, as the Quran says, "Do not weaken or grieve, for you will be superior if you are true believers." This belief gives them the strength to endure, to resist, and to hope for a better future. The power of the oppressed. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once said, "Beware of the supplication of the oppressed, for there is no barrier between it and Allah." Mariam's voice is not just her own, it's the voice of every mother who has lost a child, every father who has watched his home crumble, every orphan and widow who has been left to pick up the pieces. It's the voice of a people who refuse to be silenced. Their supplications are heard, even if the world refuses to listen. Their faith is their shield, their history is their proof, and their land is their identity. The global silence. Mariam's question is not just for those in power, it's for all of us. It's a challenge to the global community, to anyone who has remained silent in the face of injustice. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that when we see an evil, we must act. "Whoever among you sees an evil," he said, "let him change it with his hand, if he cannot, then with his tongue, and if he cannot, then with his heart, and that is the weakest of faith." Silence in the face of oppression is a crime. Looking away from the suffering of the innocent is betrayal. Mariam's message is a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in the fight for justice, the role of leadership. Leadership is not just about power, it's about responsibility. Those who hold the reins of power have a duty to protect the vulnerable, to uphold justice and to stand against oppression. But too often, leaders have failed the people of Gaza. They've prioritized politics over humanity, silence over action. Mariam's question is a challenge to these leaders. Will you continue to turn a blind eye, or will you finally take a stand? Mariam Hannon's voice is a beacon of hope in the darkness. It's a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, the human spirit can rise above. Her question, What if it were you? Is not just a challenge to the world, it's a call to action. It's a reminder that justice is not a privilege, it's a right. And it's a plea for all of us to stand up, speak out, and fight for what's right. Meet Mariam Hannon. She's a young girl living in Gaza. Mariam's childhood is unlike any other. Imagine growing up surrounded by the ruins of bombed buildings, the constant fear of airstrikes a terrifying reality. Imagine going to school with the knowledge that conflict could erupt at any moment, turning your classroom into a bomb shelter. This is Mariam's everyday life, a life she shares with countless children in Gaza. They play in the shadow of conflict, their dreams haunted by the sounds of war. Their resilience is nothing short of remarkable. They find joy in the simplest of things, a shared laugh, a moment of peace, the unwavering love of their families. But their childhoods are stolen, their innocence shattered by a conflict they didn't choose. This is the tragic reality of life under siege. This is Mariam's Gaza. Yet, amidst the rubble and despair, there's a spirit in Gaza that refuses to be extinguished. It's the spirit of resilience, a tenacity born from enduring unimaginable hardship. Gazans have become masters of rebuilding, of piecing together their lives, their homes, their communities, time and time again. They find strength in their shared heritage, in their faith, in the unwavering belief that a better future is possible. They haven't given up hope. They haven't surrendered to despair. They continue to dream, to love, to live, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. This is the indomitable spirit of Gaza, a testament to the resilience of the human soul. For many in Gaza, faith is a lifeline. It's a source of solace amidst suffering, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. It's a reminder that even in the face of destruction and despair, there's something greater than themselves, a force that binds them together and gives them the strength to carry on. Their faith is not passive. It's an active force that fuels their resilience, their determination to rebuild, their commitment to creating a better future for their children. It's a testament to the power of belief, a belief that transcends the physical world and offers solace in the face of unimaginable hardship. Their faith is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Section 5, The Weight of Silence, A World Unmoved. Here's a hard truth. The world has failed Gaza. We've turned a blind eye to their suffering, content to offer platitudes and empty promises instead of meaningful action. We've allowed geopolitics and self-interest to overshadow our shared humanity, forgetting that behind the headlines, behind the conflict, are real people, real lives. The silence from global leaders is deafening. The lack of urgency, appalling. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to think that one voice can't make a difference. But that's the trap of apathy. That's what allows injustice to flourish. Silence is not an option. We cannot be bystanders to this human tragedy any longer. The time for empty words is over. The time for action is now. Section 6. What if it were you? A child's plea for empathy. In a world often divided by borders, beliefs, and biases, the voice of a child can cut through the noise and remind us of our shared humanity. Mariam Hannon, in her youthful wisdom, cuts through the noise and asks a simple yet profound question. What if it were you? What if you were the one facing the unimaginable? What if you were the one forced from your home? Imagine the pain of leaving behind everything you know and love, the place where you grew up, the memories you cherish. What if you were the one living in constant fear? Fear that grips you every day. Fear for your safety, fear for your loved ones, fear that robs you of peace. What if it were your family, your friends, your community torn apart by conflict? The bonds that hold you together shattered in an instant, leaving you to pick up the pieces. This isn't about taking sides. It's not about politics or power. It's about something much deeper, something that transcends all boundaries. This is about basic human empathy. The ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to feel their pain, to understand their struggles. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity of every human being, regardless of where they live or what they believe. Every person deserves to be treated with respect and compassion. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult, even when it's inconvenient. True courage is shown when we choose to do the right thing, despite the challenges. Mariam's question is a call to action. It's a plea for us to look beyond our differences and see the common thread that binds us all. It's a challenge to the conscience of the world, a challenge to rise above indifference and apathy, to take a stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. It's a reminder that we are all connected, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Our actions or inactions have a ripple effect that can be felt across the globe. Her voice deserves to be heard. Miriam speaks not just for herself, but for countless others who share her plight. Let us listen, let us act, and let us make a difference. Section 7. The urgency of now, a call to action. We cannot afford to wait for a more convenient time to act. We cannot wait for someone else to solve this crisis. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. We must demand better from our leaders. We must hold them accountable for their inaction and their silence. Write to your elected officials. Donate to organizations providing humanitarian aid in Gaza. Amplify the voices of those who are being silenced. Educate yourself and others about the realities of the situation. Every action, no matter how small, is a step towards justice. Section 8. Beyond geopolitics, the essence of humanity. This isn't just about politics or borders, it's about recognizing the fundamental humanity of the Palestinian people. It's about acknowledging their right to live in peace, to raise their children in safety, to have hope for a brighter future. It's about rejecting the dehumanizing narratives that perpetuate this conflict. It's about seeing beyond the headlines and recognizing the shared hopes, dreams, and aspirations that connect us all. It's about understanding that peace is not a utopian ideal, but a necessity for a just and equitable world. It's time to start acting like it. Section 9. Hope endures, a future yet written. The story of Gaza is far from over. It is a tale that continues to unfold, day by day, moment by moment. Each sunrise over the Mediterranean Sea brings with it new possibilities, new challenges, and new hopes. It's a story of resilience, of faith, of unwavering hope. The children playing in the streets, the families coming together, all embody a spirit that refuses to be broken. It's a story that reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit has the capacity to endure, to resist, and to rebuild. The people of Gaza, through their daily activities and efforts to rebuild their homes, show us the true meaning of perseverance. They dream of a better tomorrow, a future where their children can fly kites without fear, where they can look at the horizon with hope and not despair. It's up to us to ensure that this hope is not in vain. Humanitarian aid workers and volunteers play a crucial role in this narrative, providing support and showing that the world has not forgotten Gaza. It's up to us to stand in solidarity with the people of Gaza, to amplify their voices, and to make sure their struggles are heard. International demonstrations and protests show that people around the world care deeply about Gaza's future. We must work tirelessly for a future where peace and justice prevail. Community meetings and peaceful rallies within Gaza are a testament to the people's desire for a harmonious future. Let us not let them down. Let us be the generation that chooses empathy over apathy, action over indifference, and hope over despair. Let us be the generation that helps write a new chapter in the story of Gaza, a chapter filled with peace, justice, and lasting hope. Volunteers and advocacy groups are already paving the way, showing us that change is possible. Young activists and community members are writing messages of hope, dreaming of a future where their efforts bear fruit. They are the torchbearers of a brighter tomorrow. Imagine a Gaza where families can enjoy peaceful moments on the beach, where the sound of laughter replaces the echoes of conflict. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep listening to the voices that matter.